At an Arizona rally, Bernie Sanders was the target of a fairly horrific protest. Let's take a look at some video of what happened. Now, you can see that there was a hateful protester unveiling a swastika flag. Now, we did not know for some time who exactly it was, but they have apparently been identified. White supremacist Robert Sturkison has been identified as the man who briefly displayed a swastika flag at Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign rally in Arizona. He's been known as an extremist for more than a decade. He operates an obscure anti-Muslim hate group. This is coming from Right Wing Watch, which also identified, by the way, an extremely xenophobic, hateful, and violent YouTube channel that was shut down after this. Not, during its entire run. It was allowed to operate. It was only when he made news here that YouTube finally shut it down. But we do have a statement from Bernie Sanders about this. The man not only showed the swastika, but hurled racist, anti-Semitic epithets at Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders said, "I speak not only as a Jewish American, I think I can speak for the families of some 400,000 American troops who died fighting Nazism, fighting fascism, that it is horrific. It is beyond disgusting to see that in the United States of America, there are people who would show the emblem of Hitler and Nazism."
But there are fine people on both sides. Has that come out yet?
Yeah.
Or
we'll see.
And I think that's actually, obviously he's correct, but I do feel like it was a little bit of a missed opportunity for Bernie Sanders, who I know doesn't like to make himself sort of even the center of his own movement, right? His whole slogan is not me, us, but Bernie, this was absolutely an attack on him being a Jewish president or Jewish candidate for president. And he needs to talk about that, and he needs to say that while the current president believes there are good people on both sides of a right-wing Nazi rally and an anti-Nazi rally, I do not. I take this very seriously, and my campaign is about bringing people of all religious backgrounds, ethnicities, and races, and classes and genders together. I think that was sort of the last piece of that, and I hope he will say that and say it strongly. And I think this is what bothers me the most about the fact that we are living in a time when right-wing hate spurred and inspired by this president is at an all-time high, when the FBI has said that right-wing extremism is more of a threat to the United States than, let's say, Islamic terrorism or extremism or Muslim extremism. It's like, we know that, we've seen that. It showed its face on the streets, and yet we still have people being like, but Bernie Sanders supporters are so mean with their emojis. And you're like, it's dishonest. It's complete dishonesty. You're talking about hatred online. Talk about the right-wingers who are absolutely attacking Bernie for being Jewish, who are attacking women, attacking Muslims, attacking people of color. I just know that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to say something about this. He's going to come out and stand in solidarity with Bernie Sanders against anti-Semitism.
Let's put some money down.
And
on
I'm
this
going
bet.
to hold my breath.
Yeah. So you mentioned dishonesty.
Yeah.
I've got, I think, an example of some dishonesty. But before we get to that, I do want to remind you. Obviously, we have mentioned, and you probably knew, that he is Jewish himself. He is, the most high-profile Jewish candidate for president ever. Additionally, members of his family were killed in the Holocaust. Despite that, opponents have repeatedly compared Sanders and his movement to the Nazi Party. At a CPAC, Glenn Beck claimed that Sanders and his supporters were seeking to enact another Holocaust. Chris Matthews apologized after comparing his primary win in Nevada to the 1940 fall of France to Nazi Germany. I can add that Mark Levin said that he's seeking a final solution in Israel and Palestine. So that's becoming common. So now we have this incident where he's the target of this hateful protest. And I can't peer into the hearts of social media managers when they choose how to present something. So it is possible that they just didn't think before they tweeted. But I want you to take a look at how that story has been presented by some in the media. So this was a tweet from Nathan Cullman-Lamb pointing out USA Today's headline, "Sanders campaign condemns swastika flag at Phoenix rally." As if Nina Turner was holding it up or something.
Yeah.
Business Insider, Bernie Sanders condemns Nazi flag unfurled at his Arizona rally. As if, just prematurely, like they were supposed to hold it for the encore? And then The Hill, watch, man waves swastika flag at Sanders rally with Sanders happily holding up his arm as if he's greeting an old friend. He was the target of this. You should be fearful for his life if people like this are showing up at his rallies. If they could, in public, hold up a swastika, they could try to kill him. he has been repeatedly the target of exactly this sort of hate.
Yeah.
And it's being presented in the media as if this is something that he really needs to explain, why he's the center of so much hatred and vitriol.
Yeah, even if you don't interpret it that way, it's far too neutral and bizarre a presentation of the facts for me to just let it slide. I agree. I mean, it just doesn't, you realize how, we talk about all the time how the media leans against Sanders. It really does seem to be played out over and over in just those headlines as a great representative sample.
Yeah. I mean, I think and it's important to just stay focused. I think it's for people who do like Bernie Sanders, it's really easy to get upset and angry at like these portrayals. But we know that if he wins the nomination, they're going to continue. They're going to get worse. What's great for Bernie Sanders supporters is that they're not going to get worse based on any fact. Meaning, they could call him a communist. They could call him whatever they want to call him, and they could hold him responsible for a swastika held at his own rally that was clearly against him. It doesn't matter because he's actually talking about real issues and he stays on message. And so I think if we do the same, we're going to get through this.
If there is a virtue, a political virtue I'm talking about to Bernie Sanders, there are many virtues I suspect, but a political virtue, it's what Francesca is talking about, which is his ability to stay on message. He really is unshakable on this stuff. And that's something that shouldn't be underestimated. Biden, there is no real message there. I mean, maybe it's honesty or integrity that he's going to try to, but there's no message that he's on. But Bernie Sanders is unshakable with his message. So to that extent, yeah, I think he's just sort of, unfazed by this stuff.
Yeah, but I will say, I mean, after like Simone Sanders had to tackle someone who rushed onto Biden's stage, and now neo-Nazis are bringing hate flags into these rallies, like maybe a little bit of security, like these people, one of these two people could be president in a little bit. Like, why don't we take it seriously at this point? Can
I just say one more thing about this? I think that Bernie Sanders is not only historic in terms of being, one of the first front-running Jewish candidates for president ever, but he is also doing so while also criticizing the nation of Israel and while also being embraced by so many progressive Jewish American organizations that also have a criticism of Israel and also are saying we want both the US and Israel to be better. And I think that is what is so unprecedented and so wonderful. I mean, we've had other Jewish politicians and they always get praised, but only when they tack right and only when they embrace the occupation of Palestinian territory, right? And only when they turn a blind eye to Israel and Israelis like human rights violations. And so we have to make it clear that it is also anti-Semitic to hold up certain Jews and denigrate others because of their political beliefs.
There have been a lot of members' comments about this story that have been rolling in, including one from Mondo Libre who says, Francesca's comments, true and accurate, sad and funny, all at the same time. That's how I've always described you.
You're both sad and funny. That's when I do stand up, people are like, that's sad and funny.
A little accurate, a little sad. And Blow It Out Your Trumpet said, I would hope this is the kind of dramatic news the ladies of The View could talk about. It would be nice to see them defend Bernie for once. Yeah, and you know what? As of, I can't guarantee, but as of filming this, in terms of CNN and MSNBC, I did not see them mention this story once.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
The only response is to defend Bernie Sanders.
Absolutely.
They don't appear to have much interest in that.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.